All right. So guys, we're going to do two things today. I don't think we're going to finish the lesson today, but that's okay. We'll finish it tomorrow. We're going to work on roots, which we kind of already know how to do. But also we'll look at how to find powers when your powers are, how to evaluate expressions of powers that are fractions. So that's the goal there. Sure.
Really?
All right.
We have to write this down.
No, I'm gonna say let's not write this slide down. I'm gonna say just make sure you watch and understand. Okay. So I think we already know the answer to this, right? What's the answer? We talked about that the other day. Okay, but I want to explain why it's 2, because of the same way that we do square roots, right? You break it down, and what we do is we're looking for numbers that we can find groups of 3 of, right? There's 3 2's there, so I could take a 2 out for every group of 3. Okay. So if I were to give you guys this, and I wanted to break down 16, what would 16 break down into? So 4 times 4 is 16, right? And then what else? There you go. And then that 4 becomes 2 2 as well. So basically it's just 4 2's, right? Do I have a group of 3? I do. So for every group of 3, they have a baby. They leave.
Oh, it's the turtle analogy!
It's the turtle analogy.
What the hell is the turtle analogy?
Don't worry about it. So, just like with square roots, if there's something left inside,
and then they leave the baby. And the baby's the one in the square root.
that's right. Now,
Because remember the turtle
okay,
saved the baby.
just like with square roots, if there's one left over, it stays inside, okay? But it's important you don't forget to write that root, okay? In my first block, a lot of people were, when they read this off their paper to me, they would say 2 to the power of 3 radical 2. That's wrong. It's 2 cube root of 2. Hello. Sure. Feel free to take a look around. I'm not sure what it is. All right. Hey. Let's do this one, you guys. Bye. If I asked you guys to find the square root of -8, what would you do?
Well, first I think we have to figure that out.
Gotta take out that I, right? And then you break down the 8 like you normally would. 2 2 2. What do I take out?
2.
1 pair of 2, right? So we have this. But what if we had this?
It's still imaginary that. It's just. Well, then you take out the I, just the 2, right? Negative 2.
The answer is a real number. It's -2. Okay, let me share with you why. Right?
Times negative positive and negative 10 positive.
Because we're looking for a number that times itself 3 times would give you -8, and that's -2. -2 times -2 times -2 is -8. So here's what I want you guys to walk away from with this, is that when you have an odd, negatives don't make i's anymore. Okay? Negatives don't make i's anymore. But here's how we're gonna solve them, okay? When you have an odd root, if you have a negative, instead of taking out the I, what I want you to take out instead is just the negative. Okay? If I were going to have you guys write anything on this slide, it would probably be this. So let me finish this, and then I'll have you guys write it. But anyway, so we have 2 2 2, and we're looking for groups of what?
2.
3.
We're looking for groups of 3 things that are the same, which are, in this case, 2's. So the 2 comes out, and I'm left with -2. So this is, I would encourage you guys to write this slide. Yeah. So I'll answer the question that was asked just a second ago. We had, Ken was asking what happens whenever you break something down. and there's not enough. So in this case, I'm looking for groups of how many things that are the same? 5. Do I have enough? No. So when that happens, just go back to where you were. Yeah, that's as far as you can go. Okay. Yeah, you can't simplify it, in other words. So it's got to have enough to deal with. So that's roots. So let's do some more. Now that we kind of have that idea down, I'm going to skip that. Let's go ahead and do example 1 here. So go ahead and write down example 1. I'm pretty sure you guys could probably handle this just fine.
You sure, Bailey? I don't know.
I'm going to put a negative right here.
Stop putting negatives in places.
I'm putting the negative.
Stop putting negative in places. Stop it, Bailey.
Why would you put the negative right there? Outside.
All right.
Hold on, Bailey.
So
No.
here we go. I've got a negative inside. So do I take out an I or a negative? A negative. Why? Because I'm doing an odd root. And odd roots make negatives. They don't make imaginaries. So the first thing we're going to do is take out the negative. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to break this down. I want to start by separating the number from the variable. Now the variable is easy enough. It's just 4 K's, right? But the 256, we got some work to do. So what makes 256? 2 and 128, 2 and 64, 8 and 8. You guys can't keep up?
No.
Hell's not that slow. Hell's really fast.
What?
He said he's slow as hell. And I said, well, hell's really fast. Haven't you ever heard of hell on wheels? It's like an expression for going fast.
No.
Well, you have now. Write it down. Don't forget. It'll be on the next test. So it looks like I've got 6 plus 2. I've got 8 2s and 4 Ks. All right. So I'm looking for groups of how many? 5. Do I have 5 something?
Yes.
I've got 5 2s. There they are. They have a baby. And then they leave.
That's depression.
Equals. So on the outside, I've got a negative and a 2. So you're going to write it like that. Okay. And on the inside, I've got 3 2's being multiplied together, which is? No. 8. And I've got 4 K's. I didn't get to take any K's out. It's very sad. But there we go. No way. Easy peasy.
That's not that bad. That's not that bad, Bailey. No, it's not. It's not actually that bad.
Write down number 2. Write down number 2.
Very much. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Are we getting this?
Oh no, because Mr. Bailey, can I have
Probably not.
I mean, when you said probably not.
No, because no, for real.
Unless someone's gonna be like a physics teacher.
We don't have any negatives to deal with here. Now, that thing where you take out an I, by the way, even if this was negative, you still wouldn't take out an I here because this is not a square root. This is a 4th root. And I is for the square root of negative numbers, right? But I'm going to give you guys an extra credit question that you guys can ponder. And I'll kind of give you some hints about what happens when you have a 4th root of a negative. Okay? I'm going to leave it and you guys can ponder and you can submit your answers to me later. But for now, I want to focus on this. Let's focus on this one. Forget it. If I lost you, just forget it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to split these up. Right? R. Got 4 of those, right?
Right.
What else?
2, 162. 81. And then 9. And then 3, 3. And that should be it.
All right. Cool enough. So we have 1, 2, 3 2s. I've got 4 3s. And I've got 4 R's. Not quite. Because I'm looking for groups of 4. I've got enough 3s. They can have a baby 3 and leave. The R's can have a baby R and leave. But the 2s don't have enough to make a baby 2.
That's sad.
That's a 3R. So on the inside we're left with 8, and there's our final answer.
That's saddening. Bailey.
Like,
Okay, that's easy.
That's saddening. See,
Wait,
it's
what is
easy.
it? It's a long time.
Yeah, what's
I
up,
did
honey?
the second time to process it, and then now it's easy.
You would multiply
See.
If you had another 2, you could take out a 2, and then there would no longer be a root, and you would just have 6R to the 4th instead. All right, so I'm going to throw some at you.
Oh, there's a negative.
I want you guys to do 1 and 2. Here's your extra credit question. It's not due today or anything like that. You got some time to ponder it, but I will tell you what it's not. The answer is not 2i. The answer is not negative 2i. It's not 2 or negative 2. So it's none of those. So if you don't even offer those to me as an answer. Okay?
What is negative 2? What
So
is it,
your
negative
guys' job,
16?
the extra credit is to find what's the 4th root of negative 16. Now here's your hint. Here's your hint on how to find it. You're looking for something that when you multiply it by itself 4 times, it would give you negative 16. But, like I said, I don't want you to focus on that now. I'm just giving you some hints. Right now I want you to focus on these. And then tonight when you go home and you're bored and you want to do math, because math is fun, you're going to work on this.
It's a no solution.
When you break down your 54, first of all, you guys remember to take out your negative, right? Since it's a cube. And then when you break this down, you have 3, 3, 3, 2, 4 R's. 3 comes out, and R comes out. So you have a 3 and R on the outside, and you have a 2R on the inside. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the second one. Jonathan Herrera, what'd you get for the second one, sir? Okay, go ahead, Cece.
I got 2. And then the little parentheses, the little.
It's called a radical.
Radical with the 4.
Good.
And then 5x squared.
That's correct.
Oh!
All right. So if you break down 80x squared, you should have ended up with,
4, 2, 5.
and we're looking for groups of 4 things. We only have a group of 4 2s, so that comes out. The other ones stay inside. No negatives, no i's, nothing like that.
Juco isn't helping me.
All right. Let's move on to a new topic here.
Mr. Bailey Smith.
Yes, it's a flex day. No,
Mr. Bailey, you're playing these games with me.
It's undefined.
it's not undefined.
It's undefined.
Okay, guys, quiet, please. Let's begin here. So,
Solution as an imaginary.
guys, quiet, please. So, we're going to talk about doing powers that are fractions now. Okay? So, currently, I do not know what this is. 8 to the 1/3 is question mark. But I'm going to use some math to figure out what that is. Okay? Here's the math I'm going to use. I don't want you guys to write that. I just want you to watch. If I told you I have x squared and I raised that to the 5th power, who is bold enough to tell me what that would be? Is the bell going to ring?
Oh,
3 minutes?
You got it. You got it.
Depression.